I want to give you a formula for your capability statement that is immediately going to show you results for your business with your approach to the government, interest from the government, focus from your team. It's the first step of our process at DoD Contract Academy for growing a small business, and we're going to talk all about that today. We understand that small businesses don't know how to sell to the U.S. government. Less than 1% of small businesses in the United States actually sell to the U.S. government. And as a former federal procurement officer, I saw firsthand what successful small businesses did to win federal contracts. Well, I wanted to level the playing field. That's why we have this podcast. And it's also why we have dodcontract.com. And I want to teach you what it really takes to sell to the government. How do we reduce that complex process into a step-by-step plan for you to start selling to the government? And that's why I have DoD Contract Academy. It's a guided step-by-step path to winning government contracts. Now, we're unleashing DoD Contract Academy back out onto the public again. So right now you can sign up for DoD Contract Academy. So we're going to spend the next 5 episodes of this podcast talking about some of the different phases and the things that you're going to learn. And so whether you sign up or not, you're going to learn a little bit about the steps that it's going to take to sell to the U.S. government. Look, your company can't afford to lose $2.3 million a year in revenue. That's the average that small businesses make selling to the government. And in this economy, when things are fluctuating, you want to have that stable income. So my clients through DoD Contract Academy are able to take our process and win government contracts without wasting time and money. Our system's focused, easy to manage, and customized for your business. With the Academy, you're not alone. We have weekly coaching where we can get our eyes on your business. We can answer your questions. So you get the framework and you get to speak with us each week to make sure that you are successful. Now, I believe that this is the best platform that exists in the world for teaching small businesses how to sell to the government. I haven't seen anything like it, and the advice and guidance that we can provide to you and work with you to help you be successful, it's just simply unmatched. And at the price point that DoD Contract Academy is at, I think that it's at least worth giving it a shot, trying it out for a month. All you got to do to get started is join DoD Contract Academy. You go to dodcontract.com to do that. Watch our short, easy to follow training modules, and then put your system in place for winning government contracts. And you're going to work with our team to do that. So hopefully we'll see you there, and let's get into the podcast. Let's talk about the framework that you're going to put in place to build a capability statement. And that capability statement, for those of you that are selling to the government, you know that this is a marketing document. They're usually pretty boring. And yes, as a government program manager, I threw a lot of them away. But they have a couple different uses, right? One is you want to make sure that you have the information on there that the government actually needs. It's going to resonate with them. But more importantly than that, and really the focus of this is, I use this as a way to determine the guiding principles of the companies that I work with for how they're going to sell to the government. As you heard in the opening, I want who you're selling to be on your capability statement. Be specific. Don't be broad and generalized. If you're broad, anybody could put if you're a cybersecurity firm, anybody can put a cybersecurity capability statement together and list 50 different things that you do. And you can list that you sell to everybody in the government and you just do it all. And when you hand that to the government, they're just going to take that and throw it in the trash. That's exactly what I did. I don't want a company that could do it all. You can't do it all anyway. It's a lie. You're lying to yourself if you think you can. So the first thing that we need to do is set a goal. So I want you to sit down, take out a notebook, turn everything off, and look at your revenue. If your goal is to double your revenue with federal contracting, then I want you to write that number down. We need a goal. So why do you have to have a revenue goal? Well, you have to have a revenue goal because if you want to double your revenue and you're making $1 million a year right now, well, you got to make sure that you can actually sell $1 million worth of whatever it is that you sell to the government. So you need to be able to see that there's other people that are doing that the government's buying that, and they almost certainly are. But you could do that through usaspending.gov really easily as well. So step 1, set that revenue goal. We want to know what we're going after. Step 2, we need to define what your services or products are going to be. And you can't, if you're in a business, you might have 100 different solutions. We can't put 100 different solutions on your capability statement for you or for your team. We need to define 3. No more than 3 is what I want you to do. So I want you to look at your top 3 most profitable products or services. And those are going to be the 3. That's what we're going to put on there. Now, there's another component to this that we need to learn, which is who is going to be buying this for the government. And there's actually a very simple way we can look at that. If you're already selling to the government and you have contracts with 1 or 2 agencies, that's who you're selling to. Easy. The best way to sell to the government is to expand in the agency that you're already in. But if you're not selling anything, if you've never sold to the government, what do? Well, what I want you to do is go to usaspending.gov. It's a free government website. And start searching, put in, and I've done episodes on this before, so you can go check those out. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but through that website, you can go and search for the product or service that your top 3, just like we talked about, and see how much the government's spending. Who in the government is actually buying that? And we're looking for just the big picture. Is it the Air Force? Is it the Department of Energy? Is it the Department of Transportation? Right? So if you don't know who buys what you sell, for now, we're just going to pick the top one, and we're going to put it on. Now that's going to change over time, but I want to get this capability statement down, like I said, for 2 reasons. We want to give you some direction and some focus, and your team some direction and focus. And it's also going to give you a document you can put in front of somebody in the government and, get them to have faith that your business makes sense and you're here to solve a problem. This week's episode is brought to you by userogue.com. I only talk to you guys about systems or tools that I use and actually make sense. UseRogue is, without question, the best tool that I have used for government contracting. It is a AI proposal writing tool. I've had the founder on this show on multiple episodes to talk about the different features because I love it, and that's why I'm bringing it to you. If you want to give it a shot, we have some special incentives if you use our affiliate link that's going to be in the show notes. So if you're on a podcast or YouTube, you should be able to click on that and go right to that. And this is going to minimize the time that it takes you to write a proposal. As you know, that's probably one of the most infuriating processes of actually selling to the government. This takes a lot of that work out of your hands and does it automatically. It stores all of your past proposals. It will store your marketing documents and use those each time you write a proposal or response to an RFI or source of sought to help you generate the response. You can upload an RFP, for instance, and it's going to spit out a architecture, an initial draft essentially of the proposal, and then you can use the AI tools and features to populate that with the information you need. It's really amazing. Check out UseRogue. Check out the affiliate link we have in there to give you those special incentives. And now off to DoD Contract Academy. You have a revenue goal. You can see the government's buying it. You can see which agencies are going to be the best ones for you to sell to. We define that at the top of the sheet. We're going to use your top 3 most profitable products or services to get there. And that is going to give you the beginning, at least, of a roadmap that everyone can get behind. Hey, I'm selling to the Air Force. I'm selling bookkeeping services primarily, and maybe 2 others. And what's next? Well, I need to make $1 million in bookkeeping services. And just going through some of the contracts, I can see that I'm probably going to need 1 big 3-year contract with this agency in order to hit that. Or maybe you're going to need 9 different types of contracts. Maybe one of them is going to be a bookkeeping project. 3 of them are providing services, and then 1 of them is something else. It's going to be different depending on what you sell. But now you can see, this is defining a lot more than what you're putting in front of the government. This is defining what does your team actually need to do. It's defining your pipeline. It's defining how many contracts you need to win. It's defining the service that you're going to provide. It's giving you focus. You're looking at the specific agency that you're going to be selling to. All right, you can put all of this into your capability statement. Now, we're going to massage this, right? Because this really, like I said at the beginning, it serves 2 purposes. Part 1 is really for your business. This is the guiding principle for your business and how you're going to move forward and sell to the government. The other thing is this is a marketing document that you're going to stick in front of somebody in the government. So what do we got so far? We've got, hey, we are the world's best small business that provides bookkeeping services to the U.S. Air Force, right? And we got that right up in our mission. This is what we do. And then you can list maybe 3 bullet points off of that or 2 other services that are related. What else is going to be on there? Well, who's in your business? Who's actually doing the selling for you, right? So you're going to need certain things, and I've talked about capability statements before. You're going to need contact information for you. You're going to need your phone number and your email address. Nothing that goes to a 1-800 number or an email that someone just barely checks, because that's how you miss stuff, right? You know, if it were me in the government and I need your service, I'm calling you. I'm calling a number on there, and if I better not get one of those systems that's like, hey, press 1 to do this, press 3 to do that, press 4. No, that's a hang up, and I'm going to somebody else. You got to have something really special if I'm going to deal with that crap. So, and I'm talking for myself, but I know a lot of other people that feel that way. So you're going to have your contact information on there. But one of the other things that we want on here is, how are you going to sell this to the government? All right. So if you're currently selling, you have maybe different contract vehicles. Maybe you have a GSA schedule. Maybe you are on NASA SOUP. Maybe you are an 8A company that is sole sourcing to the government. If you have anything, if you've sold anything to the government, you're going to be able to use that to talk about how you're going to sell to them. But if not, we probably want to focus on things like partnerships, right? So one of the key things that the government is going to ask is, how can I buy this from you? Right? And so you need to be able to answer that question, and your team needs to be able to answer that question. So this is very important. So it may be selling through a reseller, and there's plenty of resellers out there. You can take a look online. I don't want to, promote anyone in particular, but there's a lot of resellers, companies that just resell other people's software, other people's products and services. And, they take a certain percentage off of the sale, but typically a good reseller is going to have different contract vehicles. So that's something you're going to want to ask them as you're setting up these agreements. And a lot of times it's an application process. Resellers come in different shapes and sizes. I don't want to make this a reseller talk, but give the government on your capability statement a way to sell to them, and give your team a mechanism. Like, this is how you're going to sell to the government. You're going to do it through partnerships with companies, and here are some that we've already started. We're going to do it through contract vehicles that either we have or our partners have. So you want to list those on there. You can get to us through this company that's a reseller, and they have GSA, NASA SOUP, blah, 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 right? We are selling to you, and most of our contracts are through the 8A sole source program, right? So there's a lot of different ways to massage that language. You may just put the 8A certification on there, right? But I would have a big and bold section on your capability statement. This is how we're going to sell it to you. So what do we have on here now? We have who you're selling to. We have something very specific that you're selling. You have a revenue goal in your mind here, and so we know how much of it we need to sell. And you also have how we're going to sell. So this is how you put us on contract. This is how we're going to sell to you. This is great for your team, because now that gives them direction. This is great for the government, because that tells them exactly what they need to know. All right, so what are some other things that you can do on here? Well, look, when we're talking about a capability statement, past performance is always something that the government looks at. If you're going after your first government contract, how do you get that past performance? Well, you're either going to go through a prime and be a subcontractor on the first few contracts, or you might list your commercial past performance rate on your capability statement, just giving the government, hey, this is some work that we've done in the past. We might be brand new to the federal government, but we're not brand new to selling X, right? Certifications that you might put on there that would be relevant. Any awards that you have could be great. I go one page. I'm going to talk about myself. I'm sure there are great program managers out there and acquisitions officers that would love to spend time reading 5-page capability statements. I've seen these. Companies send them to me all the time. No, I don't know anyone that would actually waste their time reading through all that. I need to be able to look at that page and know what you do, who you sell to. Can I put you on contract? What are some other things that we can put on the capability statement really quickly, right? We've talked in previous episodes about CMMC and FedRAMP, right? So if you're a software provider, if you're in a field where this is going to apply, you want to put those certifications on your capability statement. That's a big thing. Do you have an ATO, approval to operate? Are you already selling to the government? Well, put that right on there, right? Because if I see, all right, well, I'm ATO'd on, Nipper, which is an unclassified government network. But hey, we have an approval to operate on NipperNet systems within the Army or Air Force. Well, now I know if that's what I am looking a solution for, I can go to your business because you already have an approval to operate. You've been through the cybersecurity drill. Other things that we can put on there. There are other certifications, there are classifications, there are other networks and security levels. If you're providing services, for instance, and your people have security clearances, you may put something on there that at least could tell the government that, hey, we have facilities clearances, we are working in secured buildings, and we're at these levels, especially if that is relevant to opportunities that you're going after. So there's a lot that goes into that piece, but what I wanted to talk about today is the guiding principles for how you're selling to the government. Who are you selling to? How are you going to sell to them? How can they put you on contract? What are you selling? Is it specific? Can they look at that and say, yes, this company's going to be the best company that I could put on contract, and here's how. Make it easy for them. Make it easy for the government to put you on contract. Make it easy for your team to sell. Let them know who they're selling to and how they're going to do it, or else they're going to be kibbeing on the beach like a guppy, right? They're not going to know what they're doing, and you're not going to make any sales. So we want to have that focus, and this is a great way to do that. We're going to spend the next 5 episodes of this podcast talking about some of the different phases and the things that you're going to learn. And so whether you sign up or not, you're going to learn a little bit about the steps that it's going to take to sell to the U.S. government. Look, your company can't afford to lose $2.3 million a year in revenue. That's the average that small businesses make selling to the government. And in this economy, when things are fluctuating, you want to have that stable income. So my clients through DoD Contract Academy are able to take our process and win government contracts without wasting time and money. Our system's focused, easy to manage, and customized for your business. With the Academy, you're not alone. We have weekly coaching where we can get our eyes on your business. We can answer your questions. So you get the framework and you get to speak with us each week to make sure that you are successful. Now, I believe that this is the best platform that exists in the world for teaching small businesses how to sell to the government. I haven't seen anything like it. And the advice and guidance that we can provide to you and work with you to help you be successful, it's just simply unmatched. And at the price point that DoD Contract Academy is at, I think that it's at least worth giving it a shot, trying it out for a month. All you got to do to get started is join DoD Contract Academy. Go to dodcontract.com to do that. Watch our short, easy to follow training modules, and then put your system in place for winning government contracts. And you're going to work with our team to do that. So hopefully we'll see you there, and let's get into the podcast.